Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
You know, Sean, when you win 13 of your last 14, you know that you're driving at the wall full speed ahead and the brakes aren't working.
Isn't it amazing how that works? Oh. And sometimes it goes the other way too, but it seems so much harder to get to the point that you're just due for a day like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, just nothing went right yet. You know, it's an upside down day in the NFL too, in some respects, right? You got the Houston beating Tennessee and taking out the, I mean, I know Derrick Henry is one of the probable MVP types of the league, but oh my God, who would expect that Tyrod Taylor and the Houston and Rex Burkhead? I mean,
yeah. Well, you know,
what the hell is that about?
I did say, you know, Taylor's back for the second week, and he had that bye week. You know.
Yeah. Did you bet Houston?
No, I did not. But
okay, then.
A lot of people bet Tennessee giving up the points, and
I didn't. I did.
I know.
I mean, I think if they play 100 times, Tennessee probably covers 60% of the time. But the one time I took them, they didn't. So it's the way. It's the way. When you're, like I said, when you won 13 out of 14, you're going to crash into a wall hard, and the airbags are not going to deploy.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes. But now we go back at it today. That's the nature of this beast, right?
Yeah. Now Tennessee's two of their 3 losses are against the Jets and the Texans, and both times they had injuries at wide receiver that just they don't have depth there at all.
No excuses. Next man up. I'm sure that's how they feel. There's no excuse. First of all, let's just run down that road. No wide receivers. What does that have to do with your defensive backs? What does that have to do with your defensive line and your linebackers? What does that have to do with Tyrod Taylor and Rex Burkhead if that combination beating you as a quarterback and running back? What does that have to do with guys throwing interceptions? What does that have to do with guys dropping punts, turning the ball over? I mean, what does any of that have to do with your wide receivers being hurt?
Well, Tannehill throwing interceptions would have to do with that.
Not if he throws it directly to the other guy.
Well, then you got the guys running the wrong route or whatever. Probably, who knows?
Okay, so you can tell one thing: Tannehill interception, nothing to do with Chester Rogers fumbling or
I agree.
His defense's inability to stop a team that everybody else has stopped for the most part.
Yeah, I know. And
the same thing you said with the Jets. Anyway.
It just goes back to the same thing. You know, put these teams in a blender, and anything can happen. You can pick 4 games every Sunday, and you go, Tennessee should win, these teams should win, and then you get that plus value. And I didn't do this yesterday. I'm just saying most people do this. And you always know out of those 4, somebody is getting upset. Somebody always.
Yeah, the thing is, to me, I mean, you look at anyway, so we do on Mondays, what did you learn? So let's go, besides driving at walls at 90 miles an hour without seatbelts and airbags, what did you learn?
Well, we'll kind of go there. I mean, we learned that it's not just a quarterback lead. I mean, look at Austin Eckler, 4 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 5 touchdowns. And then the wide receivers. So on Tennessee's point, look at Dallas without Amari Cooper. And then CeeDee Lamb was out the second half too. I mean, their offense didn't move at all.
That has everything to do with Dak.
Oh.
Okay, listen, Aaron Rodgers can play with any set of wide receivers, and they're managed to produce. Dak, you mean to tell me Amari Cooper, you take Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb out, good quarterbacks, I mean, Brady, you could stick Brady with any group of wide receivers and they produce. Good quarterbacks make wide receivers good. Wide receivers don't make quarterbacks good. This is something that, this is an easy debate.
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, they take Ben Roethlisberger. Mike Wallace was a star in Pittsburgh. A star. You send him somewhere else. You say, who?
Okay, what about Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper? Would Dante Culpepper ever been
Randy Moss was a star.
Right, but would have Dante Culpepper been a great quarterback without Randy Moss?
Wasn't there. Dante Culpepper played just fine. He was on my fantasy squad.
He did okay.
He wasn't a great quarterback in that respect, but I mean, still, he was a very good one. And the team did perform without Randy Moss. But you're talking about generational talent in Randy Moss.
Right, yeah.
Right? I'm not telling you who Amari Cooper is a good wide receiver, but he's not a generational talent. CeeDee Lamb might become one, but he's not one yet, right? But when Michael Gallup is running down the sidelines by himself and you can't hit him, right? Whose fault is that? Michael Gallup could be freaking Superman, and if the ball's off target, he ain't going to go get it. Right. You could have the combination of Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Megatron. You could take the pass running routes of Marvin Harrison, stick them all together, make one super wide receiver, and if the ball's 20 yards over his head, he ain't catching it.
Yeah. And two other things we learned: Seattle's no good. If we didn't know that already,
not yet. Anyway,
and they're no good. They're done. And then also, Kansas City's not going to win the Super Bowl because of their offense. They could win the Super Bowl because of their defense. Who would have ever thought of that?
Well, wait a minute. That's not their defense. That's Dak. Dak was inaccurate as hell.
Defense. Kansas City's defense the last 3 or 4 weeks since they got some players back.
He's running all over the field wide open, and he's missing them. That's not defense, my friend. That's terrible.
Then I guess you learned that Dak Prescott is no MVP this year.
No, I don't ever think he is an MVP, to be honest with you, because he is who he is. I mean, he's a phenomenal, inspirational leader in the locker room. He's a guy that's never going to get you in, well, you don't think so. I mean, you didn't think of that about Tiger Woods either, but you're not going to find him in the headlines in a negative way for your corporation. So you can invest $1 billion in, or your hundreds of millions of dollars in Dak Prescott without worrying about him embarrassing the organization. The team is going to be inspired to play around him, but you also know that there are going to be some games where Michael Gallup is running wide open down the sidelines and the ball's just not going to be on target, right? That's what you get with Dak Prescott. Now, you might get some headlines occasionally with Tom Brady, right? Mostly from his wife. But you also know with Tom Brady that the guy's going to put the ball on target where it's supposed to be almost every single game. And when it counts, he ain't going to miss, right? And yesterday, believe it or not, Kirk Cousins was that guy.
Yeah.
But he got lucky because they turned over an INT.
Right.
Because if that doesn't get turned over, then he goes all Cousins in a normal situation.
Yeah, he tried. I mean, they were up pretty good, and then it was getting hairy there for a while. And that's another thing we learned. And I already knew this, and I think most people already knew this. Doesn't matter who the Chargers play; they're not making fun of Chargers going to make it fun and exciting and almost choke the game away every single week.
Every single time the Chargers are like that. I mean, the kid's a good quarterback, though. But he does make some bad plays, but he's a good quarterback.
Yes.
I played against Austin Eckler. I mean, I was in this really weird position that fantasy players are in, right? I'm in one league where I have Austin Eckler, and that's my smaller budget league. I have another league that's a bigger budget league. I'm playing against Austin Eckler. I have like 100-point lead, and then by the time the night is over, and I got one player tonight to 3. By the time the night's over, it's down to 50 based on one player. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, if you had Eckler or Jonathan Taylor yesterday, man.
If you had them both.
If you had them both, wow.
You probably won $1 million in DraftKings or FanDuel.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of football, Sean, let's go ahead and get to the NFL game for the night. Tonight, let's get started there. You have the Giants heading to Tampa, right? The game is in Tampa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a matchup of quarterbacks. Who do you like?
I don't want to give up the points, but I'm also not taking the points with the Giants. I don't like this game at all as far as the spread. Tampa's 3-6 covering the spread, and they're giving up a lot of points. But I don't think the Giants really have a shot to pull this off, neither. I just don't know what.
Well, you got Saquon Barkley coming back against a team that
we've talked about it. He's missing a step. He's not the same player yet. He's still and just coming back. He's not going to be much of a factor tonight.
Well, Miles Sanders looked pretty good yesterday, averaging like 7 yards a carry off of similar circumstances.
Yeah, but Barkley was, he came off that ACL or whatever he had and didn't look great in the beginning of the year. Now he's coming off another injury. He's not there yet, and he's going to take a little bit.
So I agree. 11 is, again, it is absolutely 100%, Sean, a stupid soccer tie. I had the game coming in at exactly 11 points, which I found to be startling almost. But in any case, I have it at exactly 11 points. And then as far as the total is concerned, Sean, the total in this game is, let's see what that total is. I think it's around 50, 49.5. I have it coming in at exactly 50. So stupid soccer ties all the way around.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is another total. I don't want to go the under because Tampa's offense and their defense ain't all that great, but what about the Giants' offense? I mean, they're not going to put up many points. So,
the Giants don't know what the Giants' offense are going to do because Tampa's defense has been a little bit shaky.
Yeah, they've been bad. But so this is one again. I don't like either way. So You say you can't play them all. Don't play them all. I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, I'm not playing this game either. As much as I want to play this game, Sean, I can't play this game specifically for those reasons. I have a stupid soccer tie on both the total and on the spread.
I mean, I found one player prop, Daniel Jones, over, 35 and a half passing attempts. I do think they get down, and I do think he's got to throw the ball.
What are the yards on both quarterbacks? Because I have both going considerably over 300.
I was going to say, yeah, okay, well, they're both kind of low. Daniel Jones is over 251 and a half, and Brady is over 299 and a half.
I'm going to take Daniel Jones.
Okay.
That's going to be my one play for the net. I have him going over. I have him throwing 303 yards, Sean. So they're not going to be able to run because you can't run on Tampa Bay anyway. So Saquon Barkley in the run game, maybe they tried. You know what the thing is, Jason Garrett, right? That's really a tough. He'll try to run it. They'll be down 27 to nothing at halftime, and he'll still be running it on 1st and 10, 2nd and 10. Like, yes, we're going to establish the running game to close this 27-point gap. But I'm going to take Daniel Jones, $10 over 251 and a half, Sean. That's one of my plays on the game tonight because I have him going considerably over. And I feel like the only shot the Giants have to get into a game where they score some points, the only way they're going to do that is by putting the ball in the air.
Okay.
And then as far as the money is concerned, Sean, it's a 50-50 game in terms of the line itself, in terms of the tickets. And then the money is slightly favoring the Buccaneers. As far as the total goes, it's about slightly favoring the over in terms of the number of tickets, but 2/3 of the money is on the over. So most bettors are doing the Square Sucker Monday night home favorite over bets.
Yeah, so I'm going to make it official to go the over attempts because I think they get down and he throws it more than 35 and a half. So we're both relying on Daniel Jones tonight, which means he'll leave the first quarter for an injury.
And Razor Sharp Pick says, take the Giants, take the points in the under. So he's the anti-square sucker bet. All right?
Yeah, go against the public. That's what they tell you to do.
Well, Monday Night Football is always, these night games are always known for upping the line for the home team and boosting that total a little bit because the public wants to see the home team win and they want to see a lot of points, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got something here to talk about, Sean. I emailed this to you.
Yep.
What would you like to think about driving a nice Ferrari?
I would probably sell it, but
yeah, you would. I can see you driving, but see, Floyd Mayweather is going to give fans a chance to win one of his Ferraris. Would you take the red one or that one's a Mercedes? Why the hell they got a Mercedes in a Ferrari picture, right? Because you could see the Mercedes emblem unless he put it on there. Or I don't know my cars, but I would say the red one's a Ferrari and the yellow one's a Mercedes. That would be my guess, right?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know cars neither. I'm worse than you.
Well, it's not a matter of knowing cars. I just don't know cars of this price tag. I know what a Ford looks like. I know what a GM Chevy looks like, but I sure as hell. I mean,
yeah, you never go to these kind of car dealers, right?
Yeah, maybe just to punk the salesman a little bit, but outside of that, no. But anyway, he says if you could pick 50 NBA games in a row, Sean, and I didn't know if it was against the spread or just straight out winners. I think it has to be straight out winners because, Floyd didn't fight against the spread. He picked and chose opponents lightly. He didn't always take, you notice he did not fight Manny Pac-Man until Manny Pac-Man was a little bit slower because I don't know that Floyd would have been able to handle the speed when he was younger. But in any case, Floyd's a great fighter, one of the top defensive fighters probably ever, and certainly one of the most money fighters in terms of knowing how to make money. So let's go ahead and look at the NBA today, Sean. It's next up, and then we'll go to college basketball. I didn't have any time to do any college hoops, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm on NBA too. So the first game on the calendar for the NBA tonight, Sean, is Brooklyn versus Cleveland, and it doesn't look like there's a line. Where did all the NBA lines go tonight?
No, I see -5.5 for Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's what I had too. So let's go ahead. We'll just go ahead and go with those lines. Since there are no lines here, we'll just empty out of that page and we'll talk about what we have. So Brooklyn is -5.5. You like Brooklyn? You like Cleveland? You like anything here? Which one of these would make your Mayweather pick?
Oh, if I had to pick, I would go the Nets, but I'm not going to make anything official here. Right. Just the Nets are up and down, and I don't even know. Is somebody out for the Nets? I'm trying to look that up now. I feel like Durant might be out again, or no?
Is he out again? I don't know. Like I said, today's been
the line seems awfully low, but the Nets aren't playing very well neither.
All right, let's see. The Nets, the matchup, let's see. Is Durant out tonight? Looks to me like the injuries you have. Durant is probable with a shoulder injury.
Joe Harris is out, but that's
and then the entire team for the Cleveland Cavaliers looks like it's out. So you got Mobley out, Sexton out, Allen out, probably. You have Markkanen likely out because of illness. Stevens, Osman. I mean, that guy Osman, he's probably better off than me being out. Anyway.
Yeah, so the line seems suspiciously low. I don't know how you take the Cavs plus 5.5 the way they're all banged up. So I would lean the Nets.
All right. Washington, I would lean the Nets too, and I would lean the under in this game, but I'm not going to take either one. Washington against Charlotte. Sean, you like anything here?
No, I do not. Another one.
Well, I have a line at -4 for Washington right now, and that's what it was at DraftKings. I like Washington at home. Washington at home, I think, is 7-1 on the season on the road, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, at home. They're not on the road, at home. Uh-huh. And the Charlotte squad, I think, is a couple games under 500 on the road. So they're 4-6 on the road versus 7-1 at home. I think Washington wins this game, Sean. 4 points. I have them winning by 12. I'm going to put my 10th spot on the Washington Wizards. Is that what they are now?
Yep. Yeah, I probably agree with that. The problem is Charlotte's scary. I mean, when they put it together, they're really tough. But
yeah, but they don't put it together that often.
No, not all the time. That's the issue. Yep.
So the Nets game against the Cavaliers, you have most of the tickets and about 50, a little bit more than 50-50 on the tickets, but almost 87% on the dollar on the Nets. They have the game going, more tickets on the over, more money on the over. Hornets and the Wizards, Sean. It's 2/3 of the tickets are on the Wizards, but 50% of the money is split up evenly between the two teams. So people like what you like there, Sean. As far as the game total is concerned, 90 cents on the dollar on the under in the Washington-Charlotte game. I have that game going. What do I have that game going? Under as well. Atlanta and Oklahoma City, Sean. Okay, so Floyd Mayweather, here's bet number 1. Atlanta money line beats Oklahoma City. You agree with that, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we got 1 down, 49 to go. As far as the game is concerned, anything here on the game?
Yeah, I hate to do it, but I think the Hawks are starting to play really good. Oklahoma City's not. I hate giving up this many points, but I think the Hawks blow them out tonight. So I will give up the 11.5 points.
Not me. I think it's going to be a closer game than that, but I do have Atlanta winning a great majority of the time. As far as the betting public, well, the total on this game, Sean, is 213. Anything there that you might see that you would consider?
No, Oklahoma. I mean, I'd lean the under if you're going to do it, just because of Oklahoma City's offense, and the Hawks got a pretty good defense. So, well,
70% of the tickets and 85% of the money is on the Hawks, Sean. And as far as the total is concerned, a little bit more than half of the money. Tickets are on the over, but again, almost 85 cents on the dollar. We see this in the NBA night after night after night. The masses, the public, are betting the overs, and the money, the folks that are smart money, are betting the under. Houston and Boston. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, I'm going to knock this 50 games out in like 3 days. Boston is going to beat Houston at home because everybody beats Houston. You could play Houston. I could probably get 5 guys together, play in a neutral gym, and we'll beat Houston. So Boston beats Houston too.
Yeah, I agree. But this one I'm not going to give up the 11 just because Boston with their injuries and some of the players they got playing, and they'll pull people, and then you'll have a backdoor cover or something. I'm not going to lay the points this time, though.
You're not good. Well, Schrader is probable. Richardson's probable. You have Williams probable. Jaylen Brown's probable. So maybe not. I have Boston covering this spot, Sean, pretty handsomely. I was thinking about taking them, but I do agree with you that 11 points is a little bit too much. So I'm heavily leaning Boston and slightly less heavily leaning the over in that game. As far as the tickets are concerned, you got 80% of the tickets, 80% of the money on the Celtics. You have a little more than 50% of the tickets favoring the over, but this is a weird one because the smart money is also hammering the over here, Sean. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I would think the under here because Houston's offense is horrible and Boston's defense is pretty good, and then Boston's offense hasn't been all that great. So
everyone thought she was blow them out. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the Giants defense is playing pretty well, Razor, right now. It's not that's their calling card. Besides the fact that Jason Garrett can't get his team above 21 points, so they have to keep the games close. They have no choice. They say invention is the mother of necessity, right? So low scoring. Good defenses are the mother or the necessary mother, whatever that would be, of a poor offensive coordinator.
And as of late, Brady does not play all that well in primetime, which is surprising.
I hope he doesn't play very well tonight because I'm playing against him in fantasy, Sean, in that game where I played against Austin Eckler. The Bulls are at home here in Chi-Town, Chirac, where it's freezing cold today. God, it's cold outside. I hate the winter. Anybody with a house in Vegas that wants to move to Chicago, let me know. Maybe we can swap. Houses are a little bit more expensive in Chicago than they are in Vegas. You might get a better deal. Anyway, the Bulls at home are 6-2 at home. The Indiana Pacers are 2-9 against the number on the road. So just total. They've won 2, lost 9 on the road, 4-7 against the total. Bulls are 6-2 at home and 6-2 against the spread at home. Sean, that looks like heavily favors the Bulls.
Yes, I'm going to regret this because normally blindly I would have saw this line today and I would have just bet the Bulls. And even with those stats, I would have bet the Bulls. But just something tells me to stay away here. Just that line, it seems too fishy. And the Pacers have been getting healthier. They're one of those teams they could go get blown out or they could look really good. So I'm going to stay away, and I'll probably regret it because normally I would.
You're going to regret it because you're hammering the Bulls usually. I have the Bulls covering, not enough to take them in my simulator, but the public is with the Bulls, about 80% of the tickets, but only about 62% of the money. So there is a now that money drops, so even more money coming in on the Pacers right now. There are some people out there that are looking at the line the same way you do and say this something doesn't smell right here. But you know what's crazy, Sean, is this is a game where a little more than 50% of the tickets are on the under, but damn near 100% of the money, like 1% of the money is on the over in this game. Vegas is totally going to be calling the referees to call some late fouls in this one, Sean.
Yeah.
I know you don't believe that stuff. So
no.
Anyway.
But the Bulls did play last night too, so maybe that's part of it. Sometimes
be.
on the back-to-back.
All right, so game number 3 for me, Sean, in the Floyd game. The Floyd Mayweather Challenge is the Milwaukee Bucks host the Orlando Magic at home. So I'm going to take the Milwaukee Bucks, Sean, just money line to win. So that'll get me within 47 games if all 3 win, of a new Ferrari.
Are you sure that you're allowed to take a certain morning line or money line here?
I don't know what it is. He just says 50. I mean, come on. Some of the guys that Mayweather fought and beat, I could fight and beat. So, I mean, let's do apples to apples.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I'm not giving up 13.5. As a matter of fact, the Magic
I'm not giving up 13.
No. I know. I'm just talking about the spread myself. I'm going to leave the game go.
All right. I'm going to leave the game go too, Sean. But I would say Orlando has probably a better than 50-50 chance to cover that number. So the right bet would probably be to take Orlando. I have the game going considerably under the 214. So that's I have the game actually, going under a little bit. So be careful with that one. Let's see. The line is 218.5. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Minnesota New Orleans games. I have the game going considerably under 218.5. So that would be the way I would lean as far as the money is concerned, Sean. As far as the Magic and the Bucks, most of the people don't care that the Bucks are giving up 13. 99% of the money is on the Bucks. Woo! Vegas is hoping big time for the Magic to cover there. As far as the total is concerned, a little bit weighted towards the under with the tickets, but a little bit more than that money on the over. Next game is Minnesota at New Orleans, Sean.
Yeah, this one, I mean, Minnesota's starting to play really good, but New Orleans with Brandon Ingram. Again, I would lean Minnesota, but
it's 3-15 on the year.
I know. They're playing better since Ingram came back. They're still waiting for Zion a little bit. I'd lean Minnesota giving up to 3.
I'm going to bet Minnesota giving up to 3, Sean.
And you don't like how they play, so that's saying something.
I hate how they play. I hate Big Cat out there casting threes at 18 feet tall. Dude can dunk without jumping, and he's 30 feet from the basket. What are you doing there, buddy? Why don't you watch some tape from the 80s and 90s and see how a big man is supposed to play? Not out there casting threes at 30%. Come on, dude. What are you doing? But I do like Minnesota. I have them covering this game. I have them winning by 20 points, Sean. So that's what the simulator says. That's too big of a spread for me to pass up. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go with Big Cat casting 43s out there, hoping that he can bury 10 of them, and then that Minnesota wins by at least 4. Total is 214, Sean. I have the game going over, but I don't double dip.
Yeah, I would lean the over as well. Minnesota's offense has started to really pick it up. So,
Well, most of the tickets are on Minnesota, but yeah, the money a little bit. I mean, still most of the money is on Minnesota too, but a little bit of fishing towards the Pelicans there. The tickets and the money is on the under. Phoenix is a team to me, Sean, that looks like it's starting to play the way they played last year. I mean, I know they're 13-3 on the year, so they got a great record, but early on they were kind of struggling to beat teams, winning by a point here or there. Now it looks like they finally got it together, and they're playing the way most people thought Phoenix would play after a championship run last year.
Yeah, they're on a big win streak. I don't know. It's like 8-9 games, something like that. They're giving up 5 in San Antonio. I almost wanted to take it, but I left it go.
Take it.
Yeah, I left it go.
You left it go. Well, you know what? 75% of the people didn't let it go, Sean, and almost 100%. 97 cents on the dollar didn't let it go, Sean. Wow. And you know what? That's totally betting against Vegas. Vegas is on the hook big time for some games tonight, Sean. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Phoenix, Sean. So I have 3 teams in here. Phoenix, Washington, Minnesota, all against the number for $10. Wow. Utah and Memphis, Sean. What do you say there?
This is another one. I'd say Utah wins, but I have a hard time giving up 11 points.
Well, Memphis defense terrible.
Yeah, they are
playing like this, like the number 30 defense versus the number 3 offense. And you have the 3-point shooting of Utah is the 4th best in the league, and Minnesota can't defend the 3. I mean, Memphis can't defend the 3. This is one of those games where styles make fights. So,
are you making Utah your 4th one?
No.
No?
Oh. No, I'm just trying to talk you into it. But the total here is 221.5, Sean. I have not been hitting with totals lately, and that number 221 is on the upper edge of where I'm willing to go. But I'm doing it, Sean. I'm going over. So I'm all over the NBA tonight. I got 3 Floyd Mayweather plays and 4 regular ones, and I just hit a wall at 95 miles an hour yesterday. But I know the gambler's fallacy. I'm due to reverse course.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you're going.
I'm just going crazy tonight.
Yeah,
I'm feeling my inner Sean.
Yeah, you're gonna outdo. You might outdo me. I don't know. I got some college basketball plays. You don't have any, so
I don't have any. I didn't have any time to check at that. All right. So as far as the Jazz game is concerned, 80% of the money's on the under, Sean. So I'm with the sucker side at 58% of the tickets being over. So you could put that big S right here on my forehead, and it's not for Scarlet. It's not because I'm an adulterer. 76ers versus the Kings, Sean. The Kings just fired their coach. A lot of times teams rebound aggressively when there's a management shakeup like that. Do you think Sacramento's one of those teams?
Yeah, they might be. I mean, they have the talent there. Is this line still minus like 2.5?
The line that I see for this spot, Sean, let's see. Hold on a second. I have -2.
-2. Yeah, I'll take the Kings here. You still got that Sixers team, missing a lot of – yeah. I mean, some nights they do show up. They don't look bad, but I do think you get a motivated Kings team here. They have the talent, so I think they score a bunch of points, and I'll give up the 2.
Somebody's mad that you didn't take Philadelphia. Well, I mean, you can't back the hometown squad. You're not a homer, Sean, are you?
No, I'm not. I hate home teams, actually.
Yeah, why would you hate homers? Just don't be one. That's all. You don't have to hate, Sean. Don't be a hater.
I just hate it because
you're just a hater.
The people that don't follow sports show up, when a team's doing good. When the Eagles were winning the Super Bowl.
Everybody bandwagon Sean over here.
I'm not bandwagon. I'm a Jets fan for life. How's that bandwagon?
I'm gonna have to go rewind some of the shows where.
But how am I
one week you're all in love with a team, and the next week you're like, yeah, that team sucks.
Well, yeah, when the team burns me gambling, then But I'm a Jets fan. I've been a Jets fan for life. How do I do that if I'm a...
That explains a lot. Now I understand. All right, Sean. So I don't have any college basketball plays tonight. I will tomorrow. Who do you like in the hoops on the college side?
Okay, so I like Seton Hall, who will be tipping off or did tip off.
No, that doesn't count.
Well, they start at 6 o'clock. We've done this before. You want not want to? Oh, okay.
No, it counts. Go ahead. I mean, it starts at 6 o'clock.
Seton Hall, I think they're giving up 2.5 or 3.5.
So you like them for the whole game?
Yeah, giving up the spread.
All right. For the whole game, not the half. Or do you like them for the half?
I like them the whole game.
All right, so Seton Hall.
And then I like Colorado State giving up 8 to Northeastern. Colorado State's been playing really well. Northeastern Yeah, I was expecting this to be a double-digit spread. It's single digits. It's -8. I will take Colorado State -8.
Colorado State -8.
And then Cornell +16 at Penn State. They're undefeated. They haven't really played anybody, but Penn State don't really blow anybody out. So I'm going Cornell +16. Yep.
What the hell, Cornell? What is their mascot?
I have no idea, but actually, Blake's middle name is Cornell.
Oh, so there you go.
Well, that's not why.
Is that where you hope he goes to school, or what?
No.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's a story behind it. Okay.
Yeah, family name.
So Angry Face Blake wants to know why you called him Cornell for the middle. But in any case, so let's go ahead and recap your picks for tonight. You got anything in the NHL? I'm running
I do not.
Run the hell away. Then to stay away from this hockey league. All right, Sean. So recap your picks real quick.
All right. So I got Sacramento giving up 2 to the Sixers. Atlanta giving up 11.5 to Oklahoma City. Daniel Jones over 35.5 passing attempts. Cornell +16 against Penn State. Colorado State giving up 8 to Northeastern, and Seton Hall giving up 2.5 to Ohio State.
All right. So me in my picks for the Floyd Mayweather, I'm going to take Atlanta, Boston, and Milwaukee. So I'm going to be 47 games away from a Ferrari. Real money, I'm going to go ahead and take Daniel Jones over 251.5 yards passing. I'm going to take Washington. They're -4, I think, Sean, right? That's what I have.
Yep.
I'm going to also take the Phoenix Suns -5. Minnesota -3. That's what I'm getting in DraftKings. And then Utah game over 221.5. And there was a fourth one in there, Sean. What was that fourth one? Washington. I said that already.
You said Washington.
Well, Phoenix -5. Yeah, so I got them all in there.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's it for me. 5 plays tonight. How many you got, Sean?
I got 6. So I still came out ahead of you somehow.
Yes, that's just because you wanted to count my Floyd Mayweather plays. Those are just against the Ferrari.
Yep.
All right, brother. Any final thoughts before we get out of here this Monday night and head off to watch some Monday Night Football? And hopefully Tom Brady hands it off to Leonard Fournette for touchdowns. Not enough for my fantasy team to lose after a 100-point lead.
Yeah, I just hope the game's good tonight. Could just be a blowout, but we'll see. I mean, not really excited for this game, but usually the games I'm not excited for are the ones that are actually turn out to be pretty good. So we'll see.
I'm hoping it scores 2-0. All right, Sean. If you like what you saw here today, folks, we'd greatly appreciate if you subscribe on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. If you can follow us also on Moneyline Madmen on both Twitter and on Facebook. And, of course, you can follow us at MoneylineMadman.com. We'd like to thank everybody for signing up over the weekend. I'm sorry I had I can't say the S word weekend, but like I said, I had won 13 out of my last 14 NFL plays. So hopefully, I can't correct that ship today, but by next week on Thursday, we got a lot of games for Thanksgiving. So you and I are going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is Thursday? Are we going to do the Thanksgiving stuff on Wednesday?
We can.
Or do you want to do it Thanksgiving morning? What do you want? I don't know.
We can wake up Thursday morning if we want to do it.
We'll talk about it because it depends. We have a family football game, so it depends on what time that family football game is for the all-star quarterback right here, baby.
Blake's getting ready for Thanksgiving here with his turkey.
I think the hat would look better on you, Sean.
Probably
would. You're looking good, Blake. Sorry about the mad face that your dad doesn't like the Philadelphia teams, but hell, he likes the Jets. He's the one that should have the mad face for sure.
Yeah, and I do every Sunday.
All right, folks. Until we catch up again tomorrow in 23-3, as always, man, we hope that all of your picks stuff your pockets full of cash. See you tomorrow.